Welcome back to Math Maintenance. I hope yesterday's review of multiplying and dividing fractions went okay for you, that it was ringing a bell, that you were remembering some of those things, that as you got into the problems, they didn't seem too intimidating. If they are seeming intimidating, we're going to continue reviewing today. I also encourage you to take a look at some other videos online about how to do it. Maybe a different way somebody phrases it will make a little bit more sense. Also, continue playing those games that I put out there for you. The games are really great because they're self-grading, so you get immediate feedback on whether you're doing it right or wrong. All right, today we're taking a look at what happens when we're multiplying more than just two things or dividing more than just two things. Let's start with the multiplying side because I think you're going to find that a little bit easier. If I'm multiplying, for example, three fractions together, the really great thing is I get to use the same method that I was using before. We're going to multiply the tops, I'm going to multiply the bottoms, and I'm going to check for my ability to reduce or simplify that fraction. So 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Factors of 27 are 1, 3, 9, and 27. There's no common factors, so I know that this is as reduced as it can be. Let's try this one. 1/5 times 1 times 1/5. Again, remember that when I have a number like 1 or any whole number, it's like that number being over 1. So 1 over 1 is the number 1. If the whole number was 2, it would be 2 over 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Whew, that top was pretty strenuous. 5 times 1 is 5, times 5 is 25. Since it's already a 1 on the top, I know that it's simplified as far as it can be. This number is done. Moving over to my dividing fractions side. I keep the first number the same, so I have 2/3 divided by 1/3 divided by 1. Keep, change, flip. I'm going to solve that problem first. 2/3 times 3 over 1. Top 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Now I have 6/3 divided by 1 left to do. Again, I can change. 1 is like 1 over 1. So when I flip it, it's still going to be the same. So I get 6/3. When I go to reduce that, 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. So 2/3 divided by 1/3 divided by 1 actually equals 2. Let's try one more like that. 1/8 divided by 2/7 divided by 1/2. 1/8 divided by 2/7. Let's start there. Keep, change, flip. 1 times 7 is 7. 8 times 2 is 16. Now I would be doing 7/16 divided by 1/2. So I'm going to keep, change, flip. 2 over 1. 7 times 2 is 14. 6 times 1 is 16. Both 14 and 16 are even, so I know they're divisible by 2, which gets me to my answer of 7/8. I would suggest with these multi-step division problems that you break it down into two-step division problems and then do the next part. So I solved this, and then I thought of the answer of that part and divided it by the next part. Don't try to think of it all at the same time, or you're going to mix up what you flipped and what you haven't flipped and what still needs to be flipped and what hasn't been flipped yet. So I would just chunk it and do it one portion at a time. Today for your practice, in your packet you have what's called fraction squares. Now there's a lot of numbers, but I don't want you to get intimidated. All you're doing is reading across a row or reading down a column and doing the problem. Within each of the rows, they're multiply. within each of the columns, their divide, and then you'll list the answers in the boxes on the end. You'll probably need additional workspace, so grab a spare piece of paper or some other place for you to work these problems out, because it's probably helpful, especially for the division ones, to work out those multiple steps to keep track of what you're doing. Today for your digital practice, you have some self-correcting word problems. So you'll read the fraction word problem, you'll solve the fraction word problem, and then when you put the answer in the box to the right of the word problem, if the box turns green, you know you've done it correctly. You do not need to put in the units for the problems in order for the boxes to turn green. Your digital game today is a Who Wants to Be a Hundredaire game. Sorry, no chance to be a millionaire today. On your Who Wants to Be a Hundredaire game, you will have the opportunity to answer fraction-related problems in order to work your way up the rungs. The problems get harder as you go, just like they would in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Good luck continuing to practice your fractions. We're going to do one more day of this together next time I see you for math maintenance. Bye-bye.